Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Guile Treatment. This is a little bit, I think, unplanned. Originally, I know Chris put out a video about curve decks for versus and had asked me to talk a bit about swarm decks or like undercurve, and so I was going to do that, but we got some a new post with some previews for the remix project. So I think we're gonna talk about that for a bit,
Yep.
but I'm still gonna do the other videos. So I guess keep an eye out for that one as well.
Yep.
So
Yeah, we also have a how to play versus video coming out. Me and Tyler recorded one this week. I accidentally recorded it in the wrong format, so we have to redo it, which is fine because we had to make an addendum because I forgot to add. I reinforced like multiple times, and I never explained what reinforcement was. So awesome. But yeah, so we got new previews for the remix, focused around the X-Men and Brotherhood with some a special um, apology previews because they were late. So at the bottom with some Avengers previews. So um, traditionally the X-Men were, well, for the lack of a better word, bad in classic versus. They were team like you had like your Phoenix Force and your Mutant City decks early, like in the early like life of the game, and then they kind of had a resurgence with like the mental trait, like X Mental, which was X like three different teams, but that was more of a
I
trait
mean,
deck,
I guess like the thing is, well, they were the backbone of like X Stall as well,
Yes, they
like
were. Yeah,
with
yeah.
where they really were just running that, and they had like Rogue and like Mimic and whatever else, like copying like
Mm-hmm.
Puppet Master until they got to Jean Grey. So like
Yeah,
I feel like they've always sort of been there, but it's never been like just as a team.
just as a team.
It's sort
Yeah.
of like they provide. I mean, X Faces as well. Like they were sort of always around some of these good decks, but like they on their own were never that good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, until Evolution came out, because then every character in that was like, oh, by the way, this person was an X Men once, so
Yeah.
they also have the X Men affiliation.
Yeah, and they were
Um,
all broken. Yeah, for
and
sure.
you can make a pretty messed up X Men deck now. I know there's a player, I'm gonna butcher his name. I think it's like Tim like Sasquetzi. I don't know. But he made a list that was called like Xbox that you can definitely find lists for on the Facebook group or the boards. And that was sort of tuned as kind of an undercurve X-Men deck to be competitive in sort of a Golden Age meta. So it's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of sort of silver bull. I mean, that's the thing is they've been visited so many times, like they have so many like pieces that can really answer different situations. And because all of them are low drops, like the one search card that they have, like Time Breach, like is actually useful.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, I mean it's definitely an interesting deck. Um, but yeah, but you know, nobody built that when the game was still alive.
Mm-mm.
So yeah,
No.
they've always sort of been a featured team, but never like a great team.
Yeah, being a X-Men fan as like my number one Marvel like property, the Age of Apocalypse X-Men cards were like pretty awesome, and like they could be like a curve deck if you kind of supplemented them with some other things. But those cards were super expensive because they were all like pack redemption and point redemption, or you paid
Mhm.
buku bucks for it, unfortunately. So, and with now the prices on everything are just ridiculously high. Good luck finding any of those. I know like the Wolverines are outrageously expensive right now. So,
Mhm.
because he's pretty much the backbone of that deck, that and the assembles, I believe. So, but I guess we can just get right into the previews. We'll go top of the bottom. Colossus, three
Mhm.
drop 5/5. So that's kind of something I didn't really go into in the curve video, where like the stat ratios. You'll notice like early versus the stats were kind of like for a three drop was either like a 3/4, 4/3, you know, like what 4/4. Like there's a few,
I don't think
you
that the
know.
stats really started to gel until I'm gonna say Avengers.
Okay, okay.
Um, I know for sure in like the first couple sets, like Marvel Origins, DC Origins, like they're kind of all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in Spider-Man, there was a lot of really weird stuff because of the way the teams were constructed.
Yeah.
And they were messing with like the boost mechanic, so a lot of it was like, oh, well, if you didn't play it this turn, you can play it on a later turn, and you can do
Mm-hmm.
this or that. Um, I mean, right, Superman was just
Yeah.
yeah.
Superman was garbage. Yeah. They redid an entire set.
But then
So yeah.
if you go look at like even like Marvel Knights, like there's a lot of weird stuff in Marvel Knights too.
Mm-hmm.
Like the one that immediately springs to mind is like I think Reaper, who's like a 12/1 four drop.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and just some other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then honestly, Green Lantern had like tons of like kind of low stat lines as well.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of them were like low
Yeah,
attack, high defense. There's a lot of characters like that,
yeah.
you know. Um,
But
yep.
I would say that when it's settled, typically a one drop had 3 points. It would be like the average was sort of like a 2/1, might be a 1/2, and if it was like some great effect, like maybe it's like a 1/1 or something
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Yeah.
Two drops had 5 points. They were like 3/2, and then you might have a 2/3.
Oh, 2 3.
Occasionally, you'd see like really offensive-minded ones that were 4/1s.
Oh man, the 2 3 2 drop, my favorite. Go Tim Drake. Yes, go Tim Drake.
Um, and then right, and for 3 drops, it was typically like 5/4.
Yeah.
You'd have some 4/5s, and then occasionally like 6/3, 3/6.
And then you get
Uh,
Wolverine, who is a 6/6 loyalty reveal.
yeah.
So yeah,
Well,
yeah,
he was always sort of the
the outlier.
yeah,
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
set one
yeah,
because he was Wolverine, so
yeah.
he just was better.
Mm-hmm. Always.
And they always sort of like would have other characters that would maybe be like similar to his stats, but then they'd have some sort of drawback or whatever. Like, yeah, they never really had anything that was like just that
Wolverine.
line
Yeah,
again. Yeah,
that one was nuts.
and
Yeah.
that right, and then 7/7 9/9 so on.
Yeah.
Actually, that's one of the funniest things. If you go back to Marvel Origins and look at the 5 drops in that set,
Oh god, they're
it's
bad.
unbelievable.
The,
There's so many 8/8s that are so bad.
like
And then
you get
you have all
Magneto.
these terrible cards, and then you have like Scarlet Witch who's like a 9/10. And you're like, what?
Yep. And then you have Magneto who exhausts a 4 drop or
Yeah.
less on while he's attacking. Yeah, and he's a 9/9. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Yeah, they
Mhm.
totally just like was all over the place.
Yeah. And then X-Men has like Professor X who's like I think an 8/8,
Yep.
maybe a 9/8.
No, he's an 8/8. So is
Wolverine, I
Cyclops.
believe, is an 8/8
Yeah.
who like recovers, and like I think Cyclops might be like an 8/8 as well that like can't be stunned while attacking. I don't know. They're just so bad.
I'm wondering if they were worried about the +1 from the like the danger room bonuses. Like that's why they're understated. But then
It doesn't matter.
I know, but then like Brotherhood had Lost City and all that stuff. So it's like it doesn't make any sense. So they were trying. They were trying. So
It was the first set.
yeah.
They hadn't figured things out.
Yeah, they definitely.
Which I guess is a long way of saying that this guy's stats are pretty good.
Yes, very, very for a 3 drop, very good. And then he's for if you and he's a supplemental boost one, so you can play him on 4 and get another character out, which is pretty good. Getting a character out, getting 2 bodies for a certain amount. I guess the whole goes into the whole swarm thing, which we don't really want to tell you too much because we want you to watch the video. But this Colossus is brand new. There hasn't been a Colossus like this in the game. So in the old game, there was not. At least with this effect. So
No, I think the lowest Colossus that I can remember from the old game was with a 5 drop from the starter,
from the
who was like
starter.
a 10/10.
Mm-hmm. I think he gained something if you had like
He had reinforcement if you had 25 or less endurance.
Yeah. Okay.
He's actually pretty good, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
X-Men sucked, so.
Yeah. Hey, that starter deck did give us one of the best defensive cards for them. So
There you go.
duck and cover, baby. So he can search out any Shadow Cat, any named Shadow Cat with a cost 2 or less, and put it into your front row. So you can get 2 attackers. Because I don't know if they're gonna do fastball special in this or not, which would be could be, could not be, but the Shadow Cat that's previewed here is kind of a throwback to the X-Men Shadow Cat. She was a 2-drop 3/3. She also had a similar ability: discard a card, move her to the hidden or visible area. But now you can pull her and Lockheed to your hidden or visible, which we
Yeah, I don't
also.
know if this really works as worded. The way that it's worded, where it just says Shadowcat and Lockheed, it makes it sound like it's one character.
Mm-hmm.
Like and I think I was sort of like looking at this card and trying to think back of like all the other characters that would like move other people or that like reference other cards. Because I was thinking, I was like, all right, well, move Shadowcat and like target Lockheed. But the problem is, if you target and you don't control Lockheed, then you can't play it because you don't have a legal target.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, obviously, you don't want that in there. And um, yeah, I just think anything else that I can think of that like references like another character, it's always like a character you control named, or
Yeah.
if you control a character named, or like something like that. I think this you probably want something
Named Lockheed.
move Shadowcat to your like hidden or visible area, and then
If.
sort of like an addendum
Mm-hmm.
if you control Lockheed. Or like yeah, or yeah, you could probably do that. It probably doesn't need to be a character named. It could probably just be if you control Lockheed, like
Also move him.
or like move him also or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Like but then you start ending up with like a lot of text on the card.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's a good thing it's digital because they can go back and fix this super easily. Also, she becomes a 1-drop if you control Colossus. So if you don't want to boost her in, she becomes a 1-drop. So
yeah, I mean that's also kind of with the Legends 1-drop that was like a 4/3.
Oh yeah, the one that couldn't
And,
attack. Yeah.
But like I think she couldn't like attack until it was like turn 3 or something like that.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yep.
kind of a combination of a few different iterations.
Yep. Moving on, we got Lockheed, interdimensional friend. Lockheed.
Speaking of Lockheed.
Yeah, speaking of, he's a 1/1 with flight. He gets +2 attack while attacking if you control Shadowcat. So the art, and I believe the name and version's the exact same as the XMen version. It's just the ability and the fact that he doesn't have range now, and he has 1 less attack. I believe. I think that's what you said in pre-game.
Yeah, I remember. I just remember the old one was like he was a 2/1 flight range, and it was discard an energy card, and he would get +2 for this attack. So it was attack or defense.
Okay.
Obviously they aren't supporting like the traits, which is fine.
It was only around for one set.
That was for like really one set and some legacy cards.
Yeah.
And like it was fun, but there's a reason they got rid of it, which is that it was like pretty limiting, and then like your cards are weird with like old cards. Like that's the thing, right? So you would have your X-Men cards that all had this stuff about like energy cards. Well, now you can't play them with like the X-Men cards from like Marvel Origins, and then you also couldn't play them with like the X-Men cards from like after the reboot because they were just like, we're not doing traits.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean those are all fun changes.
So it kind of shows you that they were more of a swarmy. That's a swarmy type deck.
Yeah, I mean there definitely looks to be
an undercurve.
Certainly a theme in here. There's also honestly like a lot of sort of quasi like legend support, which I know was sort of fun with the Marvel Legends and on stuff. I mean there was some before. You had some for like Doom, Spider-Man, Kang, stuff like that. Probably some others.
Kang.
But and there'd be the odd ones like mixed in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean honestly, like this just looks a little bit like a Shadowcat like suite right here, right? You have the Shadowcat, you have 2 different other characters that also reference Shadowcat. Who knows? Yeah, maybe she has some like a plot twist or something as well.
Instead, what was it? It was Phase something in the X-Men set that if you had an energy character, it did something and it had her in it, like phasing through.
I don't remember the effect.
Yeah.
I remember it counted as an energy card when it was like in your hand or deck. Or whatever.
And then the piece de resistance, I call it, is the calling all X-Men tutor cards, so they don't have to play Mobilize anymore. But why won't you play 8 tutors in a deck to make your deck the most sweetest sick deck ever?
So that's what I do. I run more tutors, less characters. I turn the characters I don't want into the characters I do want, and that's the way to do it.
That's the way to do it. So you discard an X-Men character card. That's fine. If you're playing an X-Men deck. Search your deck for an X-Men character card. Reveal it. put it into your hand. Then if you discard a Jean Grey for this effect, draw a card. So someone who primarily plays Jean Grey X-Men Legend decks, this card is Chef's Kiss. So it's a 2-for-1. Well, it is a 2-for-1. You get to get your character, and then you get a random card off the top of the deck. So I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Not much I can really say about it.
I guess this is like a similar thing, right? This is like a little bit of like a mashup of a couple different things. I can't remember the name of her legend card. It was like Psionic something.
Oh, is that
like play from the resource row and you draw 2 cards?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I forget what it's called. Yeah, yeah.
But this reminds me also of Indebted, where it was like discard a card, search for Spider-Man, but if you discarded Spider-Man, instead search for like any Spider-Friend's character. That or the Galactus one, Creation of a Herald, where it's like discard a card, search for something that's like costs less, unless you discarded like Galactus, and then like literally just go find like any card in your deck.
Yeah.
So again, it's a search card that sort of like doubles as a legend card.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we sort of talked about like X-Men like never having a decent search card, so
yeah.
This is probably like top 5, so like just like, oh yeah, if I was why doesn't X-Men have a search card?
Yeah.
I mean, at some point it was probably because they're like they can have a search card, like they'd be too good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Although I mean, obviously they could have had Mobilize.
Yeah.
And I think Mobilize is in the set as well, right?
Correct. Yes. Yeah. It has.
They said that? Yeah.
Yep. It has the Justice League on it actually this time. So.
But yeah, I mean, this is kind of a cool card.
And the art is sick because Jean Grey is awesome. So art's really cool. All right. So moving on, we're moving on to the Brotherhood of Mutants, everyone's favorite location-based deck, not named Checkmate. Looks like we got Lost City coming back, but it did change quite a bit. I totally missed this. That Rob said it used to be 3/3, but now it's a +2/+2. So it's a little bit of a drawback. But then you also have Genosha's effect on it now. So you have to choose. Do you want the 4 cards or do you want to be able to power up? Or 2 cards if you don't control Magneto, obviously. So, but yeah, was Lost City a 1 threshold too?
Lost City was a 1 threshold. I believe Genosha was like a 2. Okay. So like that's not changing like that much either. Not, I don't know. I'm not quite. I honestly I'd have to probably see like the rest of the cards to like sort of understand why they combined both of these on 1.
Yeah. Well, like I said,
maybe it was just something where they figured like, okay, we're making it like 2/2 instead of 3/3, so like we'll also put this on here and like it'll free up some space.
Because if Avalon's in the set, then it could just be for resource row ease that you're not just piling in a bunch of locations into the deck that you can have other things. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. We're hoping to get Aaron on to talk about it. I haven't sent him a message yet, but if you're watching the episode, I'll get a hold of you. And
I mean, I know he watched the other one, so I'm sure he'd be willing to.
Yeah, come on after the release because I pick his brain about why they did things differently. So, so Juggernaut.
Hey, Aaron, cool set. I have a lot of questions for you.
Yeah, I don't know if I have a lot. They're not very smart, but there are some. But Juggernaut.
I'll talk to you afterwards.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
What?
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, you could definitely ask him about, because he, I think, was involved in like the previous design stuff. So, like, you could definitely ask him like what he'd learned and how that factored in, stuff like that.
Oh yeah. So. Sounds good. See, that's why I have you on. You ask all the good questions. I'm just there for color commentary. Juggernaut, 5/5 again, overstated, but he does have loyalty this time, mostly because he can't be stunned while attacking. So I can see that. That's a very big bonus. So you have to have it. Loyalty means you have to have a character with the same team name on the field first, as it's stated, because it has new player rulings right there on the card. They'll tell you how to do the rules and the keywords. So looks like loyalty is something that loyalty and boost, I guess, are the first 2 keywords we've seen. I don't think the first few cards in the trailer and in the first like Scarlet Witch stuff didn't have anything with loyalty or anything like that. So There's the first two keywords we've seen that they are bringing back. So I know they ditched reservist and leader, reservist and leader for sure for now. So yeah, this card's a mighty fine 3-drop. And then if you catch they did a versus remix YouTube video of Brotherhood versus Secret Society, and Juggernaut does have a helmet that allows him +3 more attack while attacking. So he can become an 8/5 on 3, which seems pretty good
Yeah,
while attacking.
I know that there was a Juggernaut's helm in Marvel Legends. I think it +5 all attack, but yeah. It
Yeah.
also, I think it was also like a cloak
Oh, he
where
couldn't
like
be
they couldn't be
targeted.
targeted. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So moving on, we got a movable object. This card, Rob said, is completely different from the Legends content. I believe it still was a 4, I want to say, and it did not
I
power.
believe so.
It did not power up a Brotherhood, and it definitely did not draw a card if you control Blob. So,
No, yeah, I mean that's just again like that sort of like tack on
mhm. Legends
sort
content.
of legend stuff,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
The sort of cantrip thing reminds me of the Defenders card with Doctor Strange.
Mm.
Um Astral Projection, I think it was called,
Yeah, if you can.
where you could move like any number of defenders hidden, and then if you control Doctor Strange, like draw a card. Maybe it was only if you could play from your row. I don't remember. Like there
I
was
know
some
there
other
was a
stuff
bunch of
too.
other. There was a bunch of plot twists that said if do something, but then if you played it from your resource row, like Poker Night was give target
Mm,
character reinforcement. If you played it from your resource row, draw a card. So yeah, so that also probably guarantees us a blob, probably on 4 because he's been traditionally a 4
mm.
the entire life of the game.
The best is I think it's Marvel Legends has 6-drop blob,
Mm,
and all he did was his effect was just like he can't be moved.
yeah.
So like if you played him into your support row, like he just couldn't attack because you could never move him to your
You
front row
couldn't
unless I
move
mean
him.
if you gave him range you could, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think he was
So
like, wasn't he like an 11,
I think he was
13,
an 11-14, I think.
14? Okay, yeah, that's funny that he couldn't be moved. So
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, I think the other one, right? You said like I think it gave like 2 defense or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I was there was another one I thought that was like I think there was an immovable card at one point too,
Mm. Oh,
but
that was from the was that from the X-Men set? I think it had like Juggernaut and him on it or something like that. Because
yeah, I don't remember. I remember the art. That's
it
about
had to do
it.
something with like physical traits. So obviously no one played it because no one played the physical trait deck. So because it was bad. So moving on, old players of the game would remember it was the new Brotherhood, right? It was
Mhm.
the new Brotherhood
Yeah,
was
TNB. Yeah,
TNB was a staple of Golden Age, probably for the entire life of the game, I believe. So because it
pretty
was just
much.
one of the fastest decks out there. Um, it was ongoing. It was a 2 cost. It was a 1 cost ongoing.
Was it a one? I don't
Yeah.
even remember. It
No,
might have been.
I think
Okay.
it was a 1, and then it had a stipulate. It gave all your Brotherhood characters +2 attack, but you had to have 4 or less resources to do it. So a lot of the decks would try to lay those all in their row and then play Avalon and then blow up Avalon on 5, collect your points because you could collect your resource points, then go down to 4 resources, then recruit your Magneto or other things. So
Yeah.
yeah, and then you just wreck face because you had a bunch of cards. So this one's a little bit of a toned down version. It goes ongoing Brotherhood characters you control get +1 attack. So it's just a +1 attack bonus in your resource row. So art's pretty sick, not gonna lie. Anything with Magneto on it's usually pretty cool. So,
Yeah, I mean, this is just sort of one of those things where, they took the cards that were sort of meta defining and just toned it down a little bit.
mm-hmm.
I mean, you can see that there were cards like that. You could see that they kind of like knew they had made a mistake with, where like they wouldn't reprint them or they reprint like other things that were like less.
Mm-hmm.
And right for the +1 attack, I mean, you had the Revenge Squad had one like that. It was Battle for Metropolis, where it was like all your front row characters get like +1 attack. It's an ongoing. Um, and Brotherhood actually had a card that was like all your characters get +1. It was, Hammer Bay from the starter, but that was a location, so you can only have
Mm-hmm.
one copy.
Yep. Yep.
So,
Yeah. not a whole. It seems like there's a bunch of Legends content here, but not connecting like the X-Men. So,
Mhm.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So as the added bonus, we got the Avengers because they were late because you had some problem uploading the content. So, all of these. Did you say Mjolnir was different, or was Mjolnir stay the same?
I think they're all
They're
different.
all different now. Okay. So I guess
I
we'll.
don't think yeah, I don't think any of these cards
Okay.
are like there's similarities, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the 4-drop Thor is a little different because the loyalty part was reveal, like we said in
Well, the thing
pregame. Yeah.
was, it was before like loyalty reveal was a thing.
Oh, that's right.
So
That's right.
like you had to reveal like so that was the thing is if he was the only Avengers you had, like you couldn't play him.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
had to be able to show one either in your hand or your resource row.
Well, he's an 8/7 with flight and range, and when he attacks, you can put a card from your hand top of your deck, and then you just burn your opponent for 3,
Yeah,
which is
that's the big difference.
yeah.
Is the other one was like if he did breakthrough, you could discard the top card and burn him for that. There were sort of these like I remember, one of the sort of like meme decks was trying to stack like nega bombs so that you could like do breakthrough and do like 16 damage. Um,
That's awesome.
and obviously the problem was always like, how am I gonna do how am I gonna do breakthrough? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's so easy to just like play defense bombs or
Mm-hmm. Or
reinforce
reinforced. Yeah.
or any number of other things. So
Yes.
obviously they made it like less, but also like, it's a lot easier to make it go off.
Yeah. Yep. Mjolnir. There was 2 versions of that card. There was the regular Avengers version, and then there was like the $900 equipment card that technically was never released. So,
Hmm. I don't remember what that one does at
I
all.
don't remember
I
either.
think it's like if you equip it to somebody, they get the name
Thor, they have the identity or
or
something.
no.
Let me see if I can find it
Oh,
on eBay. I know there was a bunch of those cards on eBay, so you keep talking. I'll find it.
okay. Oh yeah, I know the original was like I think it gave like +2 attack, and it might have done something while they were attacking, and then it was like you could discard it to go find Thor, which was cool. Like I guess it was right. It was one of those sort of like early cards that was like a legend card that wasn't. Um, but yeah, this I guess is a little bit of a callback to this is interesting, right? It works with the like stacking. So like activate, put the top card of your deck in your KO pile, stun target opposing character with cost less than or equal to the cost of that card, and only during your attack step. So, I mean, with I guess we'll see it on the Captain America. Like, there is at least one
That's
way
the old
to
one.
ready him, so he can attack. You can use a card to like stack, and then ready him if he has Mjolnir. Activate to then discard that card.
Yeah, I can't find it, so I have no idea. So just take our word for it. We have no idea what
Okay,
it did. So yeah,
but
yeah.
the card that I immediately was thinking of was it's from I think Universe Asgard, which
Mm.
is just a location that's activate, put a character on top of your deck. Um,
I think I want to say Atlantis does that too. And
Poseidonus.
is that the DC Legends one? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's the DC
yeah, the one
Legends card
if you have to control
for
Aquaman
Aquaman. Yeah, yeah,
though. And it's any card, it's not a character.
yeah,
And then yeah, Atlantis is Submariner, and it's like remove plot twist or something. You can play it.
yeah. That's true.
But yeah, I mean, this is cool. Obviously, if you have a way to stack your deck, I think that Asgard would get to use some with like shape change. Um, so that you would just put like Beyonder or something like on top of your deck, and then play a
Plus
shape
10
change. You get
defense.
like +10 defense, -10
Nice,
attack.
nice.
Um,
That seems like a lot of
but
fun.
yeah, I mean, obviously they had like a little bit of like stacking stuff in Universe because they had like the rally mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
So it's possible that they're gonna have like some of that. I don't remember like the old cards if there was like losing the argument or not. If they are like doing that, bringing that back.
I don't know. I haven't
Yeah,
seen any of that either. Yeah.
I got you.
I'm hoping to maybe I would assume since this stuff releases Saturday, we may get an uptick in preview content. So, which would be kind of nice leading up. So we got a spiritual reprint of Press the Attack in Marvel's Trinity. Also to
Oh, I found the Mjolnir for you.
oh, did you?
It is that the equipped character gets the name Thor,
And what's the rest of the
and
ability?
it's whenever they become exhausted, target player loses too.
Oh, that seems not really good for like a $9,000 card, but it's just because it's rare.
Well, it's
That's
just
all.
because yeah, it
There's
was
like
it didn't
seven
come
or
out.
eight of them out in the world. So, but yeah,
Um, and
but
the other one was while they were attacking, they had invulnerability, so it
oh,
did
okay,
have some.
okay,
So,
alrighty. So Marvel's Trinity play only. It's a three cost plot twist. Play only if you control three or more non-stun exhausted characters. Ready target Avenger attacker you control. So this
yeah,
is
it's
kind of
nice.
neat because this is different too because press the attack was you can anybody that was exhausted you could ready. So this has to be an attacker. So
I didn't even see attacker.
yeah, I didn't see
Yep.
that the first time I read it either. So actually this is actually good with Thor and Mjolnir because if you can actually get multiple activations off, I believe. Ready another team
Well,
attacker?
sort of, yeah,
Yeah.
because you could attack, ready him, and then stun the thing that you were attacking, and then he would ready again during the attack wrap up.
Yeah. Because there'd be no defender.
Hmm.
And then yeah, so everyone loves press the attack. And to me, my X-Men. That's basically a spiritual reprint as well. But yeah, everyone loves readying and attacking multiple times in a turn. So ask Roy Harper that. The Captain America 5 drop, I believe this is a brand new card.
Yeah.
There wasn't any in I think the only 5 drop that I remember was the Marvel Knights and Legends for him, but that had to do with something else. So he's a
There was the Marvel Knights one you
yeah
said.
yeah he had
Mm-hmm.
like a sniper. He didn't have sniper counters. He had some kind of
Mm-hmm.
counters,
Yeah,
didn't
you
he?
did.
He had sniper counters. Okay,
It might have been a shield counter,
it was
but
something.
whatever.
Um, Whenever Captain America team attacks for the first time each turn, ready another Avengers team attacker you control. So that means you'd have to ready the attacker that he's team attacking with.
Hmm.
So you could team attack with Thor, do all your Thor. So basically, did they just turn Thor into Roy with like this
Sort of.
suite? You know, it's
Yeah.
like they kind of turned him into Roy a bit.
Yeah, it's a little bit. I mean, you need the high cost card though.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
and I guess that's the thing too, right? Is like if you discard it, like you don't get it back.
Mm-hmm.
So I think which one was it? Yeah, there's other characters like that, right? There's a 6 drop Gambit that was like discard a random card from your hand to stun somebody,
There was, and then there was the
and then
four
the
drop,
Joker,
the
the one
Joker.
Joker was like you
Oh,
discard cards to like stun people.
yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, because I think Gambit's was his Marvel
Was it?
origin. What?
I think Joker did.
Or was that
No.
did they discard a card and then you burned him for that much? I don't remember. I don't remember a lot of the DC Legends stuff. So, um, but yeah, seems kind of neat. They're gonna do the team attacking thing because they had a lot of that theme in the old Avengers set that they never really kind of fleshed out because it was more along the reservist just got played all the time because that
Yeah, I mean
reservist
the
deck was
readying other
awesome.
stuff is like the old 5 drop Monica Rambeau.
Okay. Yeah. 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 So they put it on a more well-known character for the most
Just
part.
a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Even though she was in WandaVision, so but yeah,
Well, yeah, I mean she was in
Captain
Captain
Marvel.
Marvel.
Yeah, for sure.
Actually, she was the kid, right?
Yeah, she was the kid. Yeah, she was the kid. Yeah.
Because the other one was like her mom.
Yep. Yeah. So I don't know. Previews seemed pretty good. Nothing out wordly, not nothing broken. And that was the point. They didn't want to have any broken, overpowered stuff. They want stuff to be kind of even power level. But I know someone's gonna find something with this Thor, Mjolnir, Captain America, Marvel's Trinity, broken, stun everybody garbage. They have a way to stack the deck, so which would be
Hey, maybe they reprinted Asgard.
maybe they did, and we just don't know. We'll find out Saturday when they release the set. So, yeah. Any thoughts? Any closing thoughts on the cards at all? Anything else before we close
I
it
mean,
out?
I like the sort of like legend stuff that's sprinkled in.
Mm-hmm.
That was definitely something that right, like could have definitely done more of. So, um, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. All right. So that would be it for this week. Again, we weren't planning on doing something weekly, but I I forgot that they might be. I've been checking the website here and seeing what they dropping content, and I figured, hey, why not? We had some cards to talk about. So and then
Sure.
don't know if we're gonna do anything during the week when they drop content. We'll definitely do something for when the set comes out. Maybe we'll do like a team by team thing or whatever. We'll just work at our own pace this time. So
All right.
yeah. Well, I also forgot to what'd you eat today?
I haven't eaten yet today.
Oh, I thought you
I
were gonna
was
get
going to
food.
eat, and then you were ready to go faster than I was. I was going to get a burrito, so I
Oh,
will be getting a burrito after this.
nice, nice, awesome. Okay, so that'll be it for this week's Guile treatment. We'll catch you guys later in the next one. Have a good night,
All
everyone.
right.
See you later.